This is the new LGR by EcorPro. I'm going to break it down for you and tell you what I think about it. I already made an unboxing video, so if you like to see that, feel free to see that. So first thing first, this is a replacement exhaust. So what I'm thinking is that we can probably just attach this on top of the old exhaust. These are Phillips screws. Oh, there's a screen inside that one. Okay, this worked really nicely. So, one thing I don't like in the exterior that I wanted to talk about are these things. These straps, you know, they are made. They are also made by a different manufacturer, just like this. And you probably all know that they tend to tear really quickly. So this is one thing I don't like. Okay, let's start taking this apart. Luckily, all of these are also Phillips screws, so you can very easily unscrew them. This is the purging tube coming from the pump. You just disconnect this with pliers, squeeze this, and with a gentle pull, okay, so I'll just use a knife on this. Two more screws over here. And then the sides. A washer on this one. And we'll do the other side. Will it open now? Here we go. Just to make it clear, this is the first time that I get to work on this dehu. It's not even for sale yet. So we are experiencing this for the first time together. So here are my first impressions of what I can see right now. This wire is the wire that connects the power board probably to the control board. And it's good that it has just enough slack to be able to lay the top down without pulling on it. I like that. And as you can see, this dehu is a small dehu. Doesn't have so many parts to worry about. Everything is packed very tightly together, but that shouldn't really be a big problem. And this is the evaporator, the condenser. The evaporator has a temperature sensor on it. There's another sensor over here. It's probably a humidity sensor. I'm going to take it apart soon. This, like I said, is the power board. The compressor is right over here, and this is the fan. This is the pump. It's attached here on the bottom. It collects water in the body of the dehu. So the sump is actually the body of the dehu itself. Yep, comes out really easily. So this is the pump, and this is the float switch. Some manufacturers have a float switch that you cannot really replace. You have to replace the whole pump if anything happens to it. But with this one, you can detach the float switch and install a new one if a part is available. So this is the power board. It's a high voltage board, uses in this case 120 volts. Nothing really unusual about that. Everything should be fine. Has spacers on the back that are with metal. That's a relief. And this is the capacitor for the compressor, and this is the start capacitor for the fan. It's not as easy to see. And next thing is going to be the sensor, the humidity sensor. It's pretty standard. This fan here is a little funny because I was trying to figure out how to pull it out and what's holding it, and turns out that nothing is actually holding it. So I can actually just pull it out. Just like this. And here's how it looks like with the fan pulled out, with the pump pulled out. This is the sump where the water is collected, and this wire over here is actually where the power wire is connected. So the power cord is connected over here, and the power comes from this wire into the power board. And when the fan is in place, I can actually see it now, that the top of the dehu, when it is on the fan, actually is holding it in place. And this is probably just enough to have the fan attached to the dehu without vibrating. And in case the fan needs to be replaced, it will be very easy to replace it in this case. It's time to plug it in. So I put the top on so we can see the control panel. I put my shoes on, and here we go. While we're waiting, I'll just take the top off again. the fan is working fine. Compressor is vibrating. The evaporator is getting cold. Condenser is getting hot. Everything you would expect. You can see the freezing starting already. That's a good sign. Okay, I'm going to bring a bucket and we're going to test out the pump. So I got the bucket. The evaporator is freezing really well meanwhile. So I'm going to put the pump inside of the bucket to simulate a full sump and to make the float switch float. There you go. You just wait a moment. There you go. So there's a good pressure, good flow. And I just keep it running to see what happens if it's running too long. Okay, I wasn't filming and the diffuse just stopped working, the compressor stopped, and the pump is still running. So that's a good sign. It's trying to, the diffuse is trying to protect itself from flood. And we'll check the control board to see what it says over there. And as you can see, it says E4, which means flood. So that's a good sign. Let's see what happens when we pull the pump out. The float switch will stop floating as a result. Okay, the pump is stopped. And the control panel is back to normal. I'm going to turn it on one more time just to make sure that everything is working properly after I assembled it. Final thoughts. I think for the price, it's definitely worth the try. It's a small dehu and all of the parts are accessible and easy to replace. The pump over here is really easy to pull out. The fan, I like how the body is actually holding the fan tight. So when the dehu is assembled like this, you can barely even hear it. Yet, to replace it, it's really easy because when it's open, it just pops out. What I don't like is that, first of all, these straps, they are definitely going to tear really quickly. Also, there's too many screws. At least they are all the same shape and size. So there's no confusion about which screw goes where. But I like when there's less screws, makes my job easy as a technician. Other than that, time will tell. Don't forget that this dehu is not for sale yet. It's going to come out soon. Probably it will be a little different than how it is right now. And good luck, EcorPro. I hope you sell a lot of these. And I hope also that I'll get to repair some in the future when they start breaking down.